Hello, everyone. Today, we will talk about new business planning process, feasibility analysis, business modeling, and crafting a winning business plan. For entrepreneurs, generating a business idea is often the simplest part of launching a new venture. However, successful entrepreneurship requires far more than just a great idea. It necessitates a comprehensive evaluation of its viability through a feasibility analysis. This analysis is crucial for determining whether the idea can be transformed into a successful business and serves as the first step in the planning process. The purpose of a feasibility analysis is to assess if a business idea is worth pursuing. When an entrepreneur conducts this analysis, they can determine whether to move forward with the idea or pivot to other opportunities. If the idea is deemed feasible, the entrepreneur can continue to the next step. If it fails to meet certain criteria, the entrepreneur is spared from wasting valuable resources on a venture that is unlikely to succeed. This analysis acts as a filter, screening out impractical ideas before any significant investment is made, and provides insights into market potential, customer demographics, and associated costs. Once an idea passes the feasibility stage, the next step involves developing a business model. A business model helps entrepreneurs understand how to implement their idea effectively and outlines the necessary components for creating a functional venture. It provides a visual overview of how various aspects of the business interconnect, enabling entrepreneurs to ensure that all parts of the operation work harmoniously together to achieve success. The final stage in the planning process is crafting a business plan, which builds on the insights gained from the feasibility study and the business model. A well-constructed business plan serves as a detailed blueprint for launching and operating the business. It not only helps guide the entrepreneur through the initial phases, but also serves as a vital tool for securing financing. By providing clear objectives and strategies, the business plan prepares entrepreneurs for effective management of their ventures over time. Conducting a feasibility analysis. A feasibility analysis involves assessing the viability of a business idea through four interconnected components: industry and market feasibility analysis, product or service feasibility analysis, financial feasibility analysis, and entrepreneur feasibility analysis. According to entrepreneur Rhonda Abrams, conducting this analysis is an opportunity to critically evaluate the idea and determine whether it needs modification, refocusing, or even scrapping. Industry and market feasibility analysis. The first component, the industry and market feasibility analysis, is essential for establishing a foundation for the other analyses. This phase focuses on two main aspects: evaluating the overall attractiveness of the industry for new businesses and identifying profitable niches within that market. An initial assessment involves examining the industry from a macro level, considering how industry changes may present opportunities for new ventures. For instance, the emergence of the Internet has reshaped the music industry, leading to new business opportunities despite negative impacts on established corporations. To effectively assess industry attractiveness, entrepreneurs should consider several key questions, including the size and growth rate of the industry, its overall profitability, product necessity for consumers, prevailing trends, competition intensity, and potential threats and opportunities. Addressing these questions provides insight into whether sufficient demand exists for the proposed products or services. A useful framework for this analysis is Michael E. Porter's 5 Forces model, which evaluates the competitive landscape by examining 5 key aspects. 1. Rivalry among existing firms. 2. Bargaining power of suppliers. 3. Bargaining power of buyers. 4. Threat of new entrants. And 5. Threat of substitute products or services. Among these forces, the rivalry among existing firms is often the most potent, with companies vying for competitive advantages. A dynamic market emerges when businesses innovate or strategize uniquely, necessitating adaptation from others to remain relevant. An industry is generally considered more attractive when it has a large or significantly small number of competitors, where those competitors differ in size and capability, when the industry is growing rapidly, and when there are opportunities to sell differentiated products or services. By carefully analyzing these dynamics, entrepreneurs can better gauge the feasibility of their business ideas and make informed decisions moving forward. Supplier and buyer bargaining power, threat of new entrants, and substitutes in industry analysis. In evaluating the feasibility of a business idea, understanding the bargaining power of suppliers and buyers, the threat of new entrants, and the threat of substitute products is crucial. These factors significantly influence an industry's attractiveness for new ventures, impacting potential profitability and competitive dynamics. The bargaining power of suppliers can greatly affect an industry's appeal. Suppliers that hold significant leverage can make it difficult for businesses to maintain favorable pricing and terms. For instance, major chip manufacturers like Intel and Advanced Micro Devices exert considerable power over computer manufacturers, as their products represent a substantial portion of the overall production costs. An industry is more attractive when many suppliers provide commodity products, substitute options are easily available, switching costs for companies are low, and suppliers' products constitute a small percentage of the total costs. By understanding these dynamics, entrepreneurs can better assess how supplier power may impact their operational costs and competitive positioning. Buyers also play a critical role in shaping industry attractiveness. When buyers possess significant influence, they can drive prices down and demand higher quality, thereby reducing the profitability of companies within that industry. This power is particularly pronounced when the customer base is small and switching costs to competitors are low. For instance, Walmart, as the largest retailer worldwide, frequently pressures its suppliers for price concessions. Conversely, industries tend to be more attractive when buyers face high switching costs, when there is a large number of customers, when buyers seek differentiated products rather than generic commodities, and when they find it difficult to access information about supplier pricing and product features. Evaluating buyer power helps entrepreneurs anticipate demand fluctuations and develop effective pricing strategies. The threat of new entrants serves as another key factor in industry evaluation. A larger pool of potential new entrants can threaten existing companies, particularly in sectors with low barriers to entry, such as minimal capital requirements or lack of specialized knowledge. Industries are generally more appealing to new entrants when economies of scale do not provide substantial advantages, when capital requirements are low, when brand loyalty among customers is weak, and when regulatory barriers are minimal. Understanding this threat allows existing companies to strategize and strengthen their market positions against incoming competitors. Similarly, the threat of substitute products or services can significantly disrupt industry dynamics. For example, the glass bottle industry has faced substantial challenges as consumers have shifted towards lighter and more cost-effective plastic containers. An industry tends to be more attractive when quality substitute products are not widely available, when substitute pricing is not significantly lower, and when the costs associated with switching to substitutes are high. These factors underscore the importance of understanding consumer preferences and the potential impact of alternatives in the marketplace. By thoroughly analyzing these 5 forces, entrepreneurs can evaluate the potential for generating sales and profits in a given industry, essentially answering the vital question of whether the industry is a suitable environment for their business. A quantitative scoring matrix can assist in this evaluation, where lower scores indicate greater industry attractiveness. The final step involves identifying potentially profitable niches within the industry, as many small businesses successfully thrive by targeting segments neglected by larger competitors. Entrepreneurs should assess whether a niche is large enough to yield profit, or if they can uniquely position their business to differentiate from existing competitors. By effectively exploiting these niches, entrepreneurs can enhance their chances of success in a competitive landscape. Niche strategy and feasibility analysis. When conducting a feasibility analysis, entrepreneurs should address several critical questions to ensure their market strategy is sound. These questions include identifying which niche or niches they will occupy, assessing the size and growth rate of those market segments, determining the basis for differentiating their products or services from competitors, and evaluating whether they possess a superior business model that is difficult for rivals to replicate. By carefully considering these aspects, entrepreneurs can strategically position themselves within the marketplace. Adopting a niche strategy can help entrepreneurs mitigate some of the negative impacts of competitive forces. Niche markets typically require fewer resources for startups, as they incur lower marketing costs and can initiate operations on a smaller scale. Moreover, success rates for niche businesses tend to be higher due to reduced direct competition. With fewer competitors, niche businesses can often charge premium prices, leading to quicker positive cash flow during the startup phase and improved profit margins once established. However, entrepreneurs must also be aware of the associated risks of pursuing a niche strategy. First, entering a niche requires flexibility in the initial business plan. Entrepreneurs may misjudge what customers in a niche market truly need, and without the willingness to adapt their business model based on market realities, the venture risks failure. Additionally, niche markets are not static. They can change over time. Entrepreneurs must remain vigilant and ready to evolve as customer preferences shift, as being stuck in the same offerings can lead to obsolescence. Furthermore, niches can disappear. While many niches can thrive for years, no market is immune to decline, which can happen abruptly. Although adaptation may provide some resilience, rapid market declines can threaten niche businesses. Additionally, market niches can experience growth, which, while advantageous, may also attract larger competitors. As a niche expands, increased competition often leads to lower prices and higher operational costs due to intensified marketing efforts and greater expectations from customers. Product or service feasibility analysis. Is there a market? Once entrepreneurs identify a sufficient market potential for their product or service idea, they often feel eager to launch their business. However, it is critical to consider whether they can actually produce the product or provide the service at a reasonable cost. A product or service feasibility analysis evaluates the appeal of the idea to potential customers and identifies the necessary resources for production or delivery. Central to this analysis is the question: are customers willing to purchase our goods and services? To effectively answer this, entrepreneurs need feedback from potential customers. Conducting primary research is essential, as it involves collecting data firsthand through customer surveys, focus groups, prototypes, in-home trials, and windshield research. Secondary research, on the other hand, includes gathering pre-existing data, often available at low or no cost. Combining both quantitative and qualitative information from these research types is crucial for drawing accurate conclusions about market potential. Primary research helps validate the business concept, while entrepreneurs must remain aware of biases that may lead them to overlook negative evidence about their ideas. Customer surveys and questionnaires are effective primary research tools. They should be kept concise, with carefully worded questions that avoid bias. Using simple ranking systems, like from 1 to 5, can help gauge potential customers' interest. Testing surveys on a small audience before wider distribution can also improve the quality of feedback. It's important to survey individuals who genuinely represent the target market rather than just those in the entrepreneur's immediate circle. Focus groups can provide valuable insights by gathering a small group of potential customers for feedback on specific issues surrounding the product or service. This method allows entrepreneurs to listen closely to what participants like and dislike, aiding in key decisions, such as product features and marketing strategies. Virtual focus groups can also be a cost-effective way to obtain real-time feedback. Building a prototype is another effective technique to assess product viability. A prototype allows potential customers to engage physically with the product, providing critical feedback that can reveal design flaws and lead to improvements before full-scale production. In software development, for instance, beta testing of prototypes permits iterative design where user feedback is incorporated across development stages. In-home trials, though challenging to arrange and potentially expensive, offer insight into how customers use a product or service in their own environment. However, observing customers directly can yield the most authentic perspectives on usability. Windshield research involves observing customer interactions with competitors' businesses. For example, counting foot traffic and customer activity at similar establishments can provide evidence of demand for a new business. While primary research is invaluable, secondary research should complement it, as it typically involves lower costs and provides additional context. Sources for secondary research include trade associations, industry databases, and demographic data from the U.S. Census Bureau, which can give entrepreneurs insight into the characteristics and needs of potential customers. Government agencies often provide forecasts on economic conditions, and existing market research reports can be accessed through various online platforms. Articles from business journals and local data from commerce departments or chambers of commerce can also enrich the research process. While the Internet is a rich source of market information, entrepreneurs should verify the credibility of online sources to ensure reliable data. Financial feasibility analysis. Is there enough margin? The third component of a feasibility analysis is to assess the financial viability of the proposed business venture. This phase answers the critical question: can this business generate adequate profits? Initially, a broad financial analysis suffices to gauge economic feasibility, but if the concept shows promise, a more detailed financial examination is necessary for developing a comprehensive business model and a full business plan. Key elements of this analysis include initial capital requirements, estimated earnings, time out of cash, and return on investment. Capital requirements are a fundamental aspect of launching a business. Different types of businesses vary significantly in their capital needs. For instance, service businesses typically require less initial investment than manufacturing or retail businesses. Entrepreneurs need capital not only for tangible assets like equipment and technology, but also for hiring and training employees, marketing, and establishing a market presence. Effective feasibility analysis provides an estimate of the startup capital necessary for business launch. Interestingly, many startups in the United States manage to launch with an average funding of only $10,000, and some begin with no funding at all. Entrepreneurs often utilize bootstrapping, a strategy that involves creatively managing limited resources to launch and grow their businesses, encompassing various functions such as marketing and cash flow management. Estimated earnings are another crucial element. Entrepreneurs should forecast the earning potential of their proposed business model. Guidelines on preparing sales and earnings estimates can be found in industry trade associations and reports, like the RMA annual statement studies. By utilizing these estimates, entrepreneurs can project the financial outcomes for themselves and their investors, assuming the startup is executed according to plan. The time out of cash is a common cause of business failure, typically stemming from insufficient initial funding. According to a study by US Bank, a staggering 4 out of 5 small business failures result from starting with inadequate capital. During the planning phase, it is vital for entrepreneurs to estimate the total cash required to sustain the business until it reaches break-even. This estimate should consider a less optimistic scenario, as unexpected costs and delays often arise during startup and growth phases. Entrepreneurs can calculate how long their business can survive under negative cash flow by determining the burn rate and dividing available cash by that figure. Finally, the return on investment, ROI, integrates estimated earnings and capital requirements to evaluate the expected profitability of the venture. This is often calculated by dividing the estimated earnings by the capital invested. ROI is of particular interest to investors, as it indicates the venture's capacity to deliver attractive returns relative to the level of risk undertaken. Entrepreneurs must consider this risk-return trade-off. A higher risk necessitates a higher potential return. For instance, a venture offering only a 3 to 4% return might not appeal to entrepreneurs when risk-free investments could yield comparable returns. Entrepreneur feasibility. Is this idea right for me? Even with favorable market conditions and financial feasibility, the last component of a feasibility analysis is assessing whether the entrepreneur, or the entrepreneurial team, is ready to launch the venture successfully. This concept, known as entrepreneurial readiness, involves evaluating whether the founder possesses the necessary knowledge, experience, and skills. For instance, starting a landscaping business requires basic skills like operating equipment and knowledge about plants, while launching an accounting firm necessitates advanced expertise in accounting laws and practices. Entrepreneurs may acquire these skills through previous jobs, formal education, or personal interests. Assessing entrepreneurial readiness also encompasses personal attributes such as temperament, work ethic, focus, and commitment. Conducting a self-assessment can provide insights into an entrepreneur's readiness. In cases where the entrepreneur lacks certain skills, building a team with members who possess complementary abilities is vital. For example, if an entrepreneur has a concept for a smartphone app but lacks programming skills, recruiting a capable developer could enhance the team's chances of success. Another crucial aspect of entrepreneurial feasibility is determining if the business can meet the financial and non-financial needs of the entrepreneur and the team. Will the business generate enough profit to support their income requirements? While profit is essential, it must also meet the wealth goals and lifestyle aspirations of those involved. Financial needs can vary drastically. A young entrepreneur just starting may have a different financial landscape compared to one with significant family obligations, such as a mortgage and children's education costs. Moreover, personal aspirations and lifestyle choices are critical in this analysis. Entrepreneurs must consider whether the business aligns with their personal goals. For instance, a business requiring extensive travel may not suit someone prioritizing family time. Similarly, a restaurant venture that demands constant attention may conflict with an entrepreneur's desire for flexibility. Effective entrepreneurs will conduct a thorough feasibility analysis of their ideas, which serves as a foundational tool for decision-making. If the analysis suggests that launching the business is unfeasible, the entrepreneur can pivot to other ideas without squandering resources. Conversely, if the idea shows potential, the gathered insights will assist in designing and testing the business model, paving the way for a robust business plan. Personal aspirations and priorities. To align entrepreneurial efforts with personal goals, entrepreneurs should reflect on various questions. What motivates you? Consider activities that energize you or drain your energy. Success measurements. Define what success means in personal and professional dimensions. Specific goals. Outline precise aspirations for personal life, relationships, and contributions to the community. Core values. Reflect on personal core values to ensure alignment with business practices. What values do you intend to uphold, like fairness, community engagement? Where do these values stem from, like religious beliefs, family background? Why are these values significant to you? Personal entrepreneurial readiness. Assess readiness through critical questions. Motivation. What drives you to start a business? Commitment. How much time can you devote to the venture? Risk tolerance. How do you handle uncertainty and financial risk? Support systems. Whose support is vital for your entrepreneurial journey? By addressing these areas, entrepreneurs can make informed decisions that align with their personal aspirations, ensuring they choose business ventures that fit their financial and lifestyle goals. Ultimately, conducting this thorough feasibility analysis equips entrepreneurs to move confidently into the next stages of planning and development. Developing and testing a business model. In their study, Osterwalder and Pinnier found that successful entrepreneurs often utilize visual processes, like whiteboarding, to develop their business models. Rather than starting with text, they create visual maps that outline the key components necessary for business success. This business model adds depth to the feasibility analysis by illustrating how all the moving parts of the business work together. Key questions in building a business model. When constructing a business model, entrepreneurs need to address several important questions, including: who are the target customers? What value does the business provide? What are customer expectations? How will information and products reach customers? What key activities and resources are required? Who are the essential partners for success? These questions guide entrepreneurs in mapping out their business strategy. Business model canvas. To aid in this process, Osterwalder and Pinnier developed the business model canvas, consisting of 9 segments to help entrepreneurs structure their business models effectively. Value proposition. The central element of a successful business is its value proposition, which refers to the collection of products or services offered to meet customer needs. A strong value proposition differentiates the business from its competitors through aspects such as pricing, quality, and service. Entrepreneurs must recognize trends like demographic shifts, technological advancements influencing their industries. By focusing on one or two key benefits that truly resonate with customers and listening to their feedback, entrepreneurs can refine their offerings to better meet market demands. Customer segments. Defining customer segments involves identifying the target market for the business. Narrowing this focus allows entrepreneurs to allocate limited resources effectively. Attracting specific customer groups willing to spend money is crucial. Failing to define the target market can lead to trying to appeal to everyone, which is often a significant mistake. Successful businesses typically concentrate on niche markets where they can effectively meet specific customer needs. Customer relationships. Different businesses provide varying levels of customer service, which is reflected in the customer relationship component of the business model. For instance, service approaches might range from quick and impersonal options, like vending machines, to high-touch services in fine dining. Entrepreneurs must consider how customers wish to interact with their business, whether they prefer personalized service or more automated interactions. The approach will vary based on the specific business model and target market. Channels. In the business model canvas, channels encompass both communication and distribution avenues. Communication channels. These define how customers seek information about products or services. Effective channels may include websites, social networks, blogs, advertisements, and expert opinions. The key is identifying the most effective communication methods for the specific target market of the business, as there isn't a one-size-fits-all solution. Distribution channels. These focus on the best ways to deliver products to customers. Options may include online sales, in-home demonstrations, or brick-and-mortar retail locations. Entrepreneurs need to understand customer preferences for purchasing and determine the most effective delivery methods to reach them. Key activities. Identifying key activities is essential for ensuring a successful launch and sustaining business growth. This involves listing the critical tasks that must be accomplished, which will later be elaborated in the business plan. Key resources. Understanding key resources is vital for business success. This includes human resources, the people needed to operate the business. Capital resources, financial resources necessary for operations. Intellectual resources, any proprietary knowledge, brands, or patents that provide a competitive edge. This checklist helps entrepreneurs ensure they recognize all essential resources, while the business plan allows for a more comprehensive explanation and financial projections. Key partners. In a business model, the key partners segment includes essential suppliers, outsourcing partners, and other external entities that are crucial for the business's success. Entrepreneurs must recognize that they cannot thrive in isolation. Establishing a network of relationships is vital for launching and growing their businesses. Revenue streams. The revenue stream segment addresses how the business will generate income. This could come from various sources, such as one-time sales, ongoing fees, or advertising. Entrepreneurs need to align this with their value proposition, customer segments, customer relationships, and channels, as outlined in the business model canvas. This information will later serve as the basis for more detailed revenue forecasts in the business plan. Cost structure. Understanding the cost structure is essential for identifying the fixed and variable costs necessary to operate the business model. The segments concerning key activities, key resources, and key partners help in estimating these costs. Like revenue streams, The cost structure provides a foundation for creating detailed financial forecasts within the business plan. Developing a business model. 4-phase process. Creating an initial business model canvas. This first phase involves visually mapping out the business model on a whiteboard or wall using sticky notes. At this stage, the model represents hypotheses to be tested rather than established facts. Testing the problem. In this phase, entrepreneurs validate the problem their business aims to solve using primary research. Engaging with potential customers early provides valuable insights that can increase the likelihood of developing a successful business model. Testing the business model in the market. This involves small-scale prototyping to evaluate the business model before a full launch. Techniques such as selling products on platforms like eBay or through personal websites help gauge customer interest. The lean startup approach emphasizes creating a minimum viable product, MVP, to quickly test assumptions with real customers. If the prototype succeeds, the entrepreneur can proceed. If it fails, they can make minimal losses and pivot to new ideas, making adjustments based on feedback. The final phase entails modifying the business model based on customer feedback. Adjustments, known as pivots, may involve subtle changes or more significant shifts in aspects like the value proposition or revenue streams. The benefits of creating a business plan. Creating a well-developed and factually based business plan significantly increases the likelihood of a new venture's success. Research shows that companies engaged in business planning outperform those that do not. For example, a study by the Small Business Administration indicates that entrepreneurs who write business plans early are 2.5 times more likely to launch their businesses than those who do not. Many entrepreneurs overlook the business planning process, which contributes to the high failure rates of small companies. A business plan serves as a comprehensive written summary that outlines an entrepreneur's proposed venture, operational and financial details, marketing strategies, and management skills. It acts as a roadmap, detailing the company's direction, goals, and strategies for achieving them. Functions of a business plan. Guiding growth and development. A business plan charts the future path of the company, providing tools such as mission statements, goals, objectives, budgets, and financial forecasts. Involving team members in the creation and update of the plan fosters commitment and provides direction, helping to navigate the challenging startup phase. The process of developing the plan encourages entrepreneurs to continually assess their ideas against reality, ensuring a robust approach to business strategy. Attracting lenders and investors. A solid business plan demonstrates to potential lenders and investors that the venture can repay loans and generate returns. It highlights the entrepreneur's understanding of risks and outlines strategies for managing those risks. Many entrepreneurs fail to prepare adequately before seeking funding, which diminishes their chances of securing necessary capital. A polished business plan is crucial for making a strong first impression on potential investors and lenders. 3 tests that every business plan must pass. Creating a solid business plan requires significant time and effort, but the resulting benefits far outweigh the costs. A well-structured plan compels entrepreneurs to scrutinize their business ideas critically, refining them into actionable concepts. To secure external financing, a business plan must successfully pass 3 essential tests: the reality test, competitive test, and value test. 1. Reality test. The reality test has both external and internal components. External component This aspect assesses whether there is a viable market for the product or service. Entrepreneurs must demonstrate the attractiveness of the industry, the existence of market niches, potential customer bases, market size, and the degree of competition. The marketing section of the business plan should provide evidence of strong demand based on research and real customer feedback gathered during the business model testing. Internal component. This focuses on the feasibility of the product or service itself. Entrepreneurs need to confirm whether they can produce the offering at the projected costs, if it truly differentiates from competitors' products, and if it delivers genuine value to customers. 2. Competitive test. The competitive test also contains external and internal elements. External component. This evaluates the company's position in relation to its competitors. Entrepreneurs need to assess their strengths and weaknesses compared to others in the market, including understanding whether competitors' actions could pose a threat to their success. Internal component. This assesses management's capability to build a competitive company. The business plan must illustrate the quality, skills, and experience of the management team, as well as any unique resources that provide a competitive advantage. 3. Value test. The value test is critical for convincing lenders and investors that the business is a sound investment. A business plan must demonstrate a strong likelihood of repayment or an attractive return on investment. While entrepreneurs might view their ventures as fulfilling their personal aspirations, control, freedom, etc., lenders and investors focus primarily on the potential for monetary returns. The plan must substantiate that the business can generate sufficient income to repay loans and offer profitable returns. The elements of a business plan. Creating a business plan is essential for entrepreneurs, as it helps articulate their vision, refine their business model, and prepare for challenges ahead. Key elements should reflect both the uniqueness of the business and the personal story of its founders, avoiding a generic approach. Below is an overview of the critical components that make up a comprehensive business plan. 1. Title page and table of contents. Title page should include the company's name, logo, address, and contact details of the founders. Table of contents helps readers navigate the plan easily. 2. Executive summary. A concise overview, ideally 1 page, that highlights the business concept, competitive advantages, target market, and financial needs. This section serves as an elevator pitch, summarizing the entire plan's essence. 3. Mission and vision statement. Mission statement defines the purpose and direction of the business, capturing the entrepreneur's passion and vision. It should clearly outline what the business does and its target market. 4. Company history. For existing businesses, provide a brief history, including significant milestones, financial performance, and future aspirations. 5. Description of the firm's product or service. Explain the product line or services offered. Focus on customer benefits rather than just features, emphasizing what the product or service achieves for the customer. 6. Business and industry profile. Include an analysis of the industry, trends, and competitive dynamics. This helps potential investors understand the market context and viability of the business. 7. Goals and objectives. Lay out both long-term goals and short-term, measurable objectives. Each objective should connect to overall business goals and the mission statement. 8. Business strategy. Describe how the company plans to achieve its objectives and gain a competitive edge. This section should outline what differentiates the business from competitors and the strategies for success. Writing the business plan. Entrepreneurs are encouraged to personalize their business plans, ensuring that their unique stories and strengths shine through. While software can assist in structuring the plan, it's crucial that entrepreneurs maintain a distinctive narrative to capture the interest of potential investors. The process of creating this plan, from feasibility analyses to crafting the written document, provides invaluable insights that can significantly impact the business's future success. Competitor analysis. Entrepreneurs must assess their competition to demonstrate preparedness and credibility to potential lenders and investors. This analysis includes identifying key competitors. Understand who the major players are in the market. Strengths and weaknesses. Analyze how competitors meet customer needs. Strategies. Understand how competitors position themselves and their success in the marketplace. Market differentiation. Clearly articulate what distinguishes the entrepreneur's offerings from those of competitors. Realistic competitor assessment is crucial, as claiming no competition raises red flags for investors. Information can be gathered through trade associations, industry journals, and first-hand research. Marketing strategy. Proving market viability involves two key steps: demonstrating customer interest and substantiating market claims. Showing customer interest. Prove that target customers have a genuine need for the product or service, supported by customer feedback and prototypes. Establish that the product is a must-have through validation from early users. Documenting market claims. Avoid vague statements about market size. Instead, provide concrete market research data to validate growth potential and sales projections. Key analysis components. Target market. Define the characteristics of the target audience and their buying behavior. Advertising and promotion. Outline effective channels to reach customers and the associated costs. Market size and trends. Assess growth rates and customer needs within the market. Location. Identify optimal locations for businesses based on customer demographics. Pricing. Develop a pricing strategy based on production costs and market perception. Distribution. Detail the channels that will be used to deliver products/services to customers. Management team and operations. The success of a venture often hinges on the capabilities of its management team. Provide resumes highlighting relevant experience and skills, emphasizing the team's ability to execute the business plan. Plan of operation. Include an organization chart. Discuss operational steps, and detail ownership structure and relevant agreements. Financial projections. Projected financial statements are vital for assessing business viability, covering income statements, balance sheets, and cash flow forecasts. It's essential to establish realistic financial assumptions to gain the trust of investors. Loan or investment proposal. Clearly state the funding amount requested, purpose, repayment terms, and any exit strategies for investors. This section should also include a timeline for implementing the business plan. Risk assessment. Honesty in evaluating potential risks is critical. Entrepreneurs should identify significant risks and outline strategies to mitigate them, striking a balance between caution and optimism to maintain investor confidence. Visualizing a venture's risks and rewards. Business plans. Working versus presentation. Working business plan. A dynamic document used to guide the business, may contain informal notes and changes. Presentation business plan. A polished document aimed at attracting capital. Should create a positive first impression. Key tips for a successful presentation plan. Professional presentation. Use an attractive cover and ensure the document is free of errors. Visual appeal. Incorporate diagrams and charts for clarity without overwhelming the reader. Navigation. Include a table of contents for easy reference. Engagement. Make the content interesting and compelling. Profitability focus. Clearly demonstrate how the business will eventually make money, with realistic financial forecasts emphasizing cash flow. The 5 C's of credit. Lenders and investors evaluate potential investments based on the following criteria. Capital. Ensure a stable capital base. Undercapitalization is a leading reason for loan rejections. Capacity. Demonstrate cash flow capability to meet financial obligations. Collateral. Provide assets as security for loans, showing commitment to the success of the venture. Character. Showcase the entrepreneur's qualities such as honesty and competence. Social media presence can influence perceptions. Conditions. Discuss market conditions, competition, and economic factors impacting the business. The pitch. Effective presentation strategies. Preparation. Thoroughly rehearse the presentation to convey confidence and clarity. Clear structure. Address key areas succinctly. Company overview and offerings. Problem being solved with a compelling story. Unique solution and business model. Competitive edge against rivals. Visual aids. Use them to highlight key points, ensuring they enhance rather than dominate the presentation. Engagement. Start with an attention-grabbing statement about the opportunity and emphasize the benefits to investors. Responding to questions. Be prepared for inquiries and focus responses based on the interests of the audience. Follow up. Always follow up with investors after the presentation, showcasing confidence and initiative. By utilizing these strategies, entrepreneurs can effectively present their business plans, enhancing their chances of securing capital and achieving business success.
Thank you for watching. If you liked this video, please like and subscribe to channel.